So, I was a guest on this podcast one time, and the other guest kept touching my thigh under the table. I never said anything. I wasn't really sure why he was doing that. And I understand that that sounds weird to say. It sounds like there would only be one reason for him to say that. He was sort of doing it to like emphasize some of his words. And the thing is I was the only female in the room. It was three guys, two of them were hosts, and we were talking about like male versus female shit. So we were already talking about how women do this and women do that, um and I was like, "Hey, that's not how I react to everything." It was a little bit of like what annoys men about women, or like this. I don't remember the exact topic, but I remember that I was representing all of women, and and I and then he started doing that, and no one can tell that he was doing it, and I suddenly started feeling my heart race. I felt like I had to make a decision. I felt like if I were to bring it up, now I am one of those women that we're talking about. And every time I said like, hey, you're saying that all women are like that, it's just the way women are, I would say, but I'm not, I don't respond that way. They would say, you're different. And I would say, I'm not a unicorn though. That's, I exist. So that, and so now I felt like by me saying, hey, stop touching me under the table, stop touching my thigh, that's the whole show is now about that. The whole show is now about me talking like, once again, a woman is, angry or claiming sexual harassment and I wasn't going to even call it that. I was just now hesitant because I didn't want to talk about it. And then that was the end of it. Never told the hosts, never brought it up with the dude. And I also didn't want to bring it up because like this was also supposed to be a comedy show and I'm trying to keep things funny. I'm trying to keep my sense of humor, my patience. I'm trying to do this representation and not be misunderstood. And I feel like people think like it's you got to speak up and that I should have brought it up and that it's my responsibility to bring it up. But, and it's, yuck. Okay. So I didn't bring it up because part of me also thought, is this just an innocent thing that's happening, And then this next scenario happened that made me rethink that as well. Okay, so I was throwing a party. My brother actually came to this party because he was living in New York at the time as well. And we got to sitting and talking. You don't always get to sit and talk to everybody. We're sitting and talking. He suddenly is doing that thing. He's touching my thigh for emphasis. And I'm like, well, why are you doing that? And I can't, it's not like I can misunderstand that. I'm not, I'm his sister. So he can't mean anything but emphasis and non-sexual touching. I told him, don't do that. Don't do that to me and don't do that to anybody. And he said, first of all, I'm not going to. And second, can you just, he wanted to talk about why, because he understood he didn't mean anything by that. He's doing it to sort of connect. And he's like, I'm not arguing with you. I just want to hear from if you don't mind explaining it to me a little bit more. And basically I said, don't make people use their bandwidth to decide your intention. Like, and also like, I know your intention and I still don't want you touching me. It's like, don't touch anybody. I can understand how it could be like, Some people touch shoulders. I had a friend who used to touch my arm. And then turns out I was around her mom. Her mom touches the arm while she talks to you. I think it's a way to sort of make sure that you're still listening or something. But is there any way that that guy was just, it just didn't, I just didn't like, keep your hands to yourself. For what? um, I don't like that experience. And I don't like that I didn't say anything, but I also don't know that saying something would have done anything that would make me feel better about the situation. I don't want to be the representation. But maybe I am, you know? I don't know. I noticed also, like, people don't really touch each other that much, which I don't think is a bad thing, except when it comes to my doctor. My doctor doesn't touch me anymore. No doctor touches me. The general practitioner, she doesn't listen to my heart. And I've had a couple of them in the last couple of years, and a few different doctors. Nobody listens to the heart. No one checks the ears. No one gets near you. They're like at their computer the whole time. I know this doesn't have anything to do with the other touch, but I am noticing that doctors don't touch me. Those are the people I want to touch me. Yeah, that's my thought of the day. Feels a little icky to talk about. And I really didn't want to bring my brother into it, except that it has to be my brother. I can't be like, oh, it's a friend of mine, because I understood his intentions and he's doing the same thing this other person did. And I didn't feel right about that. This feels really icky. I almost want to delete it. Anyway, that's that. Thanks for listening. Bye.